ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to the greatest show on earth, Habits You Love.
Let's start out with saying what habit we are loving ourselves right now. Maybe two or three.
I've been taking some greens in the morning, my alpha subs that I've been taking, code Tyler20 at checkout.
Or order Arbonne from me. Don't order that.
Yeah, either one. We will get you right. Take your greens and protein. Yeah, what else?
What else? What other habits are you
I've
loving
been
that you're
taking my
doing?
greens.
Because you're liking your greens right now.
Yeah. Whenever I have my greens in the morning, it makes me feel better.
How so?
Start me off right. I don't know. Just feel like kind of boost my metabolism a little bit. I don't really have greens typically.
You don't have a lot of vegetables throughout the day. I feel like we both don't do that very well.
So I'll supplement with a scoop and drink it really quick.
Throw away more vegetables than I consume.
Yeah, at least you're trying.
With good intentions, and then I throw them away because they go bad.
Just say fake it till you make it. Just keep buying those veggies and hoping you eat them.
I take my greens too. I have a lot of habits that I love daily right now.
There's one of those coffees from Kiki's Breakfast Cafe.
Kiki, do you love me? I actually know we can't talk about him. Can't sing his songs.
You just did. Probably gonna get.
We're Team Kendrick. You want to know my habits that I have that I love?
Yeah.
Right now?
Sure.
Because I think people can obviously cycle through habits, and maybe they're not into some right now, maybe they are. I am in a good routine of waking up. I've been doing 4:45 lately. So 4:45, I'd snooze it for 5 minutes, might not. Might snooze, I wake up. Berkeley follows me. I feed him. I have my tea and my fizz. I do my gut health and my greens. I come and sit on the couch, have like a 5-minute just alone in the dark thinking time. And then I have been doing my IT band syndrome routine because I'm trying to work that out literally and physically. So I have 4 stretches that I do for my IT band, and then I have 4 strengthening exercises that I do. And then I get to the gym by about 5:55 and I do a workout at 6 a.m. And I've been pretty consistent with that for a while.
You've been meeting some of the girls at 6 a.m.
The Goon Squad.
The Goon Squad.
I don't know.
Tell us a little bit about the Goon Squad, the 6 a.m. crew, because you've now started working out with that crew, and I actually used to coach the class that all these girls, these women would show up to, and so they all have a special place in my heart, and they're just my people, and now they're your people, I guess, because you guys have all been working out. So it's cool. It's cool to
it's funny because when I started working there before you, so then I would just see them, the occasional, hi, how you doing? Bye, whatever. And then you started coaching there. So then you really got to know them, but just on a coaching level. And then just since I've been getting back into working out after Tyson, I mean, obviously my workouts have been so sporadic, but when I was really back into it, I couldn't quite make it to the 6 because the classes are 6 every hour, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I was getting there at 6:30. I was doing half of the 6 a.m. and then the first half of the 7 a.m. and just kind of doing my own thing. Well, then somehow, I don't know, one day, I got up early and I actually made it to the 6. And then I worked out with all the women and it was so fun. We just laughed and we pushed each other. I remember this is the day it happened was I challenged Judy, who is this, I don't know, in her 50s, doesn't have any kids.
She's right at 60.
Works out six days a week.
She's right at 60.
Super funny. Yeah, realtor. Just super, super fun, outgoing lady. And I challenged her and I said, let's push the sled and we'll hold the plank like you've done before. So whoever's pushing the sled back and forth, the other person is holding a plank and you switch off. So we did that.
Right,
and then
so
ever
since that plank until the person gets back with the sled.
Yeah. Right. And then ever since then, we kind of bonded and we just knew oh, you're going to challenge me and you're going to challenge me. So then the next day I showed up at 6 a.m. and then it just eventually evolved into, I'm in this group of older ladies. I mean, they're in their 50s and 60s and there's 4 of them.
But they work out pretty hard.
They work out really hard. Yeah. So anyway, maybe I bring a fun, fresh, they just make fun of me because I challenge them and they're but they do it. Yeah. They don't, they complain, but then they do it.
That's what they want, really. Realistically, they want to have fun being challenged for sure.
Yeah. So what's funny is I always challenge them on the cardio piece. The other workouts, I can't really challenge them because we just have to do the workouts. But when there's cardio, I'm okay, we're going to we're going to do something crazy for cardio, and they love it. It's funny. So yeah. So anyways, 6 a.m. Goon Squad. Like yesterday, I was like, hey, well, I don't think I'm going to be there tomorrow because I have an appointment and blah, blah, blah. And they're just all like,
Boo.
yeah, they're just like,
Boo.
Okay, see you tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be there. Okay, see you tomorrow. So anyways, they're fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's good. It's good to have a little, like, to look forward to going to the gym. That's a good feeling.
Nobody slams those sandbells quite like Kimberly White. I wish you guys could see the way that she slams those sandbells. But when I first saw her doing it, I was like, okay, everybody needs to watch Kimberly how she slams it, because she does really good about using her momentum. She like whips it around. Like, man, you can tell she's got a little of that evil streak, but a little bit of that bad streak in her a little bit when she slams those things. Like,
should I tell you how Judy
get it out of there?
So Judy made the comment of like, we were just laughing at something. She's like, I don't laugh at all the rest of the day. She was like, I only laugh in workout class. So like, you need to find something to laugh about.
Yeah.
You know, you need to find something else to laugh about.
Stop taking things so seriously. Yeah. Lighten up a little bit.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to send you some stuff randomly throughout the day that make you laugh.
I wonder why that is. Maybe it's the professionalism career she's in.
Yeah, probably not around that young of people. I don't know why. Well, so what other habits though do you like? You have your greens. You've been a little sporadic with your workouts, you know, because of life and work and baby.
I wanted to work out yesterday, and my wife told me that I couldn't.
Say you couldn't. I
tried to work in the morning, and you needed to get ready and go to work, so I stayed and watched Tyson while you got ready, and that was fine. Then I went to a work meeting, and I drank my pre-workout, and I was getting all stimulated, ready to leave that meeting so I could go hit it hard. And then I got a text from the wife, and it said, hey, I'll be at work for another couple hours. And I'm like, man, this stuff's just kicking in. So, well, I guess I better speed home and get that. Get my son.
Like, watching Dad's on her.
So sometimes you just got to be patient, because now the number one priority is our son, and making sure that we hit our financial goals to get to the place where we want to be, so that we can enjoy the things that we want to enjoy when we get there. I mean, not that we are enjoying where we are and what we're doing now, but we know now is a season of work and saving and doing some things so that we can enjoy our fruits later on in life, so to speak. You know, if we plant these seeds now, then years later we'll be reaping the rewards from those fruits. So now's the time that we have to kind of plant those seeds.
So much minute of your talking. First of all, I want to just quickly make the statement of yesterday, you know, I was feeling really bad about being stuck where I couldn't help you. But at the same time, I was really trying to get in the mindset of like,
don't feel bad.
Yeah. But that's something I have to work on, is like, stop saying sorry for things that I can't control. I was like, I'm sorry. But I'm like, you know what? I can't control this situation. I am in this position. It's one day that I have had to have a long work day out of nowhere that I don't normally have. And Tyler has the whole day off basically, except for an hour meeting.
Yeah, it's not a normal day for you to be gone that long.
I just was like, I'm sorry. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I need to stop saying sorry. That's something that I can't control. And it's all fine. So
and
I'm just trying to release that because I was just getting
enjoy the time that me and him get together, you know. So anytime that we do get together, it's like, or get to be together, I'm going to be grateful. And because I know a lot of men that have children don't get those times early on when their kids are really small, or people are so busy that they don't get to enjoy those little moments. So
I would say one habit that you have right now is waking up Tyson and feeding him.
If you're not here, if I wake him up or he wakes up, I try to sleep up until when he gets up. I try to get up at like 7, and then he's up by like 7:30 usually. And I like to go to sleep not too late after he goes to sleep. So I'm like dark to dark. I can't get up. I mean, I can get up early, and I've done it a lot, but just getting up when it's pitch black and you don't ever use any lights. It's just like, I can't function with all that darkness. So I'm like,
I love it. I love sitting in the dark.
I just have to wait till the sun comes up now to be able to get anything done.
It
I
works.
can't operate moving around the house with my flashlight on my phone.
Okay, well,
Find something to wear. Like, what am I gonna wear?
that I love is I do everything the night before. So I set out my clothes the night before. And then when I come into the kitchen, I have the little microwave light on. And
Yeah, that's good. I heard Jesse Itzler say that it's nice to already know what you're gonna do, like when you wake up,
yes,
so to speak. So
exactly.
you're not like waking up and like, well, what am I gonna do? It's like, oh, my clothes are there. That's what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm headed.
That's exactly how my
So
morning
your
is.
thoughts are already in order,
Yep.
so to speak. But my thoughts are already in order because I don't have any, so it's easy.
One or two.
It's easy.
And they maybe just go back and forth to fighting for first.
Food. That's it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, one other one.
One other one. Yes. I want to talk about how you think we have been doing in the past couple months in our relationship.
I feel things are solid.
Why do you think that is?
I feel like you've kind of settled into your role, so to speak. I think I'm kind of content with what I got going on, but searching for more possibilities and letting things unravel. And I think we're both kind of on the same page as to wanting to buy this house and use it to our advantage to kind of like level up and get to the next level for us. So I feel like we're on common ground as far as a significant life goal that we both want. So I feel like it, for me, when I get up and go to work, okay, well, it's a lot easier getting up to go to work to knowing that what I'm going to do that day is going to be helping us, 5 or 10 years down the road. We're going to secure this house and it's going to help Tyson in the future. And this is a safe place and we enjoy it. So it's just like, yeah, it's nice knowing we're on the same page as far as what we've got going on.
There's our one common goal right now.
And raising our son, keeping him alive and healthy.
I feel like we've done better about communication ever since we started seeing a therapist every now and again.
How so? How do you think communicating is getting better?
I think therapy has helped us because I really needed someone else besides myself to show you what I was trying to say.
Right.
Because I don't think you were getting it for a long time. And it's been nice for me. And I know you have reasons where it's been nice for you. For me, it was just like, I feel she was able to get through to you and just help me and confirm things that I have been trying to communicate, but maybe I wasn't doing them correctly, or the hearing them from the source is a little bit different than hearing an outsider say, Tyler, this is what Kayla is trying to say. And you're like, okay, I understand now. So I think that's helped me communicate better.
I feel like she's helping communicate to me what you're trying to communicate. So I hear it from her a little easier.
Yeah, and you've actually really put it into practice, though.
What's that?
Outside of her advice for what you should be doing.
What was her advice?
Like the last one we'd had about when I want to talk about my dreams and goals, and then when it happened again outside of therapy, you said you did what she said to do, and you were like, "Tell me more." I mean, you might have been being sarcastic, but
no, I mean that's what she advised to do. So
yeah. So I felt a switch between what you used to do, and then now I feel like since she has given you advice on what to do, you have taken that advice and actually put it into practice when we have our own little bickers or communication ourselves.
Well, I've always been coachable. You can ask any single coach that I've ever had, and they'll always tell you that I'm coachable. Yeah. Even if I don't agree with what the coach is saying, I will do it just to show that I listen. And I've done that in games and stuff where I will like, okay, coach, that's what you want me to do. That's what you think's going to work. I'll do that. And I'll go do it. And I've gone and run the play. And then when the person doesn't convert and I look over there at coach and like, Mike, you see that play you just told me to run that we didn't convert on? He's like, all right. I'm like,
okay, but has it ever worked out to where that person was right?
Oh, yeah. Well, usually they're right because they're the coach and they've been through it before and they've had, a lot of experiences. So typically you should listen to your coach. But sometimes when you're playing the game and you have a good sense of where you are in the game and what needs to be done, you can also make assessments on what needs to be done. So even though your coach may run the show, when you're in the game, you're the one that scores and runs the ball. So coach can't score for you. So yeah, you got to convert.
How do you think therapy has helped us on your part?
It just gives us someone in the middle to listen to both sides, because you feel like your feelings are valid and I feel like my feelings are valid. So
Well, both feelings are valid.
maybe
There's no invalid feelings.
no, that's all. I don't know. You feel like hitting somebody, it's probably not
That's the
right.
thing. You can feel like that, but how you react is the determining factor of if you're behaving correctly or not. It's not your feelings. It's how do I act on these feelings. So you can want to punch me in the face all you want.
I don't want to punch you. I want to trip you. Stick my foot out. Just kidding.
Okay, so you think just having her as a sounding board for both of us has been good?
I think you need somebody to talk to sometimes, besides me.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
I mean, I need someone to talk to sometimes too. You know? Yeah.
Yep. I love therapy so much. I think everyone should be required to have a therapist in life.
Really?
Yes.
Seems a little much.
I think it's God. If people could just think
So you need a therapist to think?
better.
How so? How do people need to think better?
Well, I mean, everyone is just thinking on the level of emotional and capacity that they have. I heard a great quote.
People aren't smart.
I heard a great quote in this book I'm listening to right now that a friend recommended to me, and it's really good. It's definitely like a lot of books I've read, but kind of all wrapped into one. But it's called Happy Pocket Full of Money. She recommended it to me, and it's good. But basically, this one part was saying that the cause of suffering is just it's alerting you that there is a higher thought that to think, and you're not thinking that. You are thinking something down here, and your suffering is caused by not being able to access the higher thought that you could be thinking.
It's a little deep for me right now.
Okay, Mr. Philosopher.
So your suffering is because of your inability to think positively.
Yeah, basically. And I think we are the reason and the solution to our suffering.
Well, there you go. Yeah, of course.
So,
But different conditions obviously make it easier to suffer in or harder to be happy in.
yeah, but I think you are
Your
in
environment.
control.
Your environment. Yeah, not necessarily.
I mean,
if you're in prison, you probably most likely have more ability to be upset, or because you have less freedoms and less contact with nature and less ability to see the sun, which gives you vitamin D, which makes you feel better. So your environment can place a very big effect on how you feel.
So do you think everyone in prison is suffering?
That's a very big question. I would say they're suffering if they're not getting enough time outside and with nature. Then yes, part of them is suffering.
I think nature is not the only. People have to have nature to not suffer.
It's a good question. I think it helps you become more in tune, and I think beings from this earth and of this earth, being more connected to it will make you feel better. So
I'm just trying to get you trying to say like your environment doesn't have to be the cause of your suffering. Your environment, how you think, is the cause of your suffering.
You can think in a positive way in a bad place.
Right.
But I'm telling you, if you're in jail, you're more inclined to think in a worse way.
Yeah, definitely more inclined,
So
but that's just not automatic.
No, but the chances are higher if you're in worse conditions to think worse.
Right. The probability is greater. I'm saying someone on the outside living a glorious life can be suffering more than someone in prison.
Yeah, of course, because internally they may be in their own prison, whatever they're dealing with. But I would say the person on the outside that has the ability to be in the sun or be out in nature or to have actual freedoms, whereas your freedoms in some places aren't as free, you're more inclined to feel that sense of freedom when you actually have the ability to experience it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you learn how to have freedom in here, like you're kind of trying to say, is when you learn to have absolute freedom no matter where you are, that's kind of the trick to life. And so in order to have that absolute freedom no matter where you are, you have to be completely at peace with yourself. And that kind of starts for me. It started when I realize that I can control this little area that I'm in. I can control my attitude. I can control my kind of frequency by doing jumping jacks or push-ups or dips or whatever I can to kind of get myself pumped up and feeling better. And just knowing that I can kind of change my frequency or my state just through physical activity, like that kind of is when everything changed for me. Just
Well, you're
knowing
really
what
good about being in the present and in the now.
I tried to be. But just knowing that you have control over yourself and learning how to have control over yourself, then you can kind of better handle those thoughts. Like they say, the only kind of talking we do is to ourselves and to others, and to make sure that they're both kind. So I think a lot of times you just have to give yourself grace, and while giving yourself grace, being able to be honest with yourself. So like, yeah, I'm going to the gym every day. It's like, okay, well, that's good. That's actually really good. Well, are you working out as hard as you can? Like, no, not maybe not really. Actually, I could have done more abs, or I could have done a little bit more cardio, or so being honest with yourself is huge, but also being able to give yourself grace. Like, okay, I wasn't able to get to the gym yesterday. Okay, am I going to beat myself up over it? Like, no, I'm not. I know that. Okay, yeah, I took the day off. I didn't want to. That's not what I anticipated. That's not what I wanted. But guess what? Today I had a really good workout because I've been looking forward to it for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So just instead of beating myself up, oh, I missed one. It's like, it's all right. It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, gotta let it go. So
Two things from that, what you're saying is kind of going back, what you're saying about how you can control, your environment, the space around you in very close proximity. In this book, again, I'm going to reference this book because it's actually really good. But he said something that I've never thought before, and talking about, the past and the future, and you really just need to focus on the now and the present. I think he stated it as this. He said, right now, try to change the past. Try to change the past right now. Also, simultaneous, like right now, try to change the future right now.
you can't do either one.
Yeah, you can't do either one. You have to just focus on right here, right now. So that really, it's like, whoa, that helped me a lot. And then what you just said about kind of your thoughts. Basically, he was saying you have two kinds of thoughts about yourself. You said you have talked, what was it? You're thinking,
You
talk to yourself.
There's only two kinds of talking that you do.
Yeah.
You talk to yourself and you talk to other people. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is a little different then, but he was talking about thoughts. And he basically said there is a thought and then there's a sponsor thought, which I thought was very interesting because he said, okay, you're having the thought that you need to eat. Why are you having the thought that you need to eat? Because there's a belief and a thought before that you're hungry. Like, I'm hungry, so I need to eat. So there's always a sponsor.
So there's an actual, you mean there's an actual physical.
Well, that was just an example, but there's a thought that causes
Well, is that thought an indicator of physical? I feel it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm trying to say that I think people have thoughts because they have a belief before that. They have a belief first and then they have a thought. That can be with anything, not just physical hunger cues.
Yeah.
So it could be, I think I am not lovable. They think they're not lovable, but they have a belief or a sponsor thought that caused that thought.
Right.
So it's just like taking it a step deeper. And he basically says you need to figure out the sponsor thoughts. Like, where is the thought coming from, the sponsor thought? And you need to change that sponsor thought, which I thought was interesting.
Kind of like you're going to go smoke a cigarette. Why do you think you need to have a cigarette? What tells you, oh, I need to spark one up right now?
Because you're addicted. Okay, why am I addicted?
Well, a lot of times people like have one after they eat.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. I'll definitely put the book in the show notes if anyone wants to listen, but it's good.
I used to think it was nasty when people smoke cigarettes. And I still maybe think it is, but every now and again, I like to smell one. Like when someone's smoking one, like I like to smell what it smells like. Is that weird?
I like the smell of gasoline.
Diesel gasoline, or just,
I don't know. Is there a difference?
I don't know.
I like the skunk smell.
Like that diesel gasoline smell. It smells like money.
Smells like skunk.
It's funny.
I still love the smell.
Smell of skunk?
Not the smell of a skunk. I think gas smells like a skunk, right? It smells skunky.
Different.
So Tyson's asleep right now, but he turns 1. This month. You're in his 1-year-old month. What the heck?
Fastest year of my life.
How is it fast?
This happened quick. He's already one. I mean, we've only been living in this house for a few months, and we were talking about every time we drive by those apartments that we lived in, it seems like a little blip in time. Like I can hardly even remember it, and it was
Not even 6 months ago. Oh my gosh.
No, I was just surviving.
You don't really believe in linear time, do you?
What do you mean?
You don't believe time is linear.
I don't even know what that means. It's like
time is not even real.
Time is a man-made object. Yeah, it's just
time is not linear. It's multiple dimensions.
You say you live 100 years. It's hard to fathom those 100 years, but you are literally a little blip in time. So when you figure that out and then you realize like how much time you have on this earth and how precious it is, it's like not that you don't matter, but in 100 years will you matter? It's like, I don't know. That's why you have to understand that you're a part of something. That's why when we had Tyson, or even when you asked me years ago, what's important to you? It's like, well, that's a big question. I had to think about what is important to me. So what's the most important thing to me? Okay, well, just like I told you earlier, I want to be able to control this space in this little area. What also do I take with me everywhere I go? No matter where I go, what do I take with me? Well, I take myself. I take me. I take my last name. I carry my last name with me everywhere I go. So that's who I am. I'm Tyler Stephen Fight. That's who I am. But I'm not just that. I'm not just Tyler Stephen Fight. I'm Jay Fight's son. I'm Steve's grandson. I'm Joe Steve's great grandson. I'm Leonard Fight's great grandson. Like they all lived and came and lived this life so that I could be here right now in this moment. And then I'm having a son. I was born so that he could live and he could walk and he could exist. So what I'm saying is I am a part of something way bigger than just me. You know what I mean? Like it's not about me in this life. It's not about Tyler Fight got to do this and that. And no, like my family, my last name, we are who we are. And I'm living out now what I'm supposed to be, like my purpose. I'm living out my purpose, which is to have a family, to keep my name still going. And hopefully my son will, find a special person and have a family so that the name can keep rolling, because that's what it's about.
So if you, for some reason, cannot have kids, would you still have the same answer? Because you just said this isn't about me, but what if it stopped at you?
So I would say that I would still feel like you have like a higher purpose, and that if I was unable to have children, then I would think that that's God's destiny, right? Like that's just the cards that I've been dealt with, and I can't say, well, I'm mad or whatever. It's like you have to. Maybe I could find a way to reverse that or something. But if I couldn't have children, I would say my answer would be to fulfill the relationships that I have to the best of my ability. You know what I mean? If my name can no longer continue, if my family can no longer continue, then that was my destiny. And I would say my destiny would be to try to live the most purposeful life that I knew how to. So by that, I would say try to have the best relationships that you could possibly have, connect with as many people. And if you're not able to have children, then, you need to be gracious and love other people and love everybody to the best of your ability.
So I was trying to think about, because you had, so your circumstances, the different circumstances, you had different answers. So is there a way to have one answer no matter what?
So what was the question? My answer for what?
You said, what's important to you? My last name. This isn't about me.
I feel like I'm a part of something greater than just my life. Like I realized a long time ago, I had that ego death where I was like, oh, you know what? Like all this stuff that I'm feeling and like, poor me, poor this, like an elephant doesn't care about my problems. A cheetah doesn't care about my problems. You know why? Because they're dealing with their own shit in this game of life. You know what I mean? Like I'm just so smart and so aware and so conscious that all of my thoughts and ideas and things that haven't happened yet trouble me sometimes. So what I have to do is just like chop that out, cut that out. Like all those things haven't even happened yet. Whereas a freaking cheetah just has to worry about getting its food and eating and taking care of its cubs.
And one video I did, and feel like you didn't agree with it, but
What was it?
when I said everyone is so self-absorbed in what they're doing, no one cares about what everyone else is doing more than they care about themselves. And you were like,
Well,
you
then
know,
what are you supposed to say? Like, aren't what you told or what you preach like take care of yourself first? It's like
that's what I'm saying. Everyone is trying to take care of themselves first before they have more thoughts about someone else than their own selves. That's what you just said. A cheetah doesn't care. An elephant doesn't care because they're worried about themselves
a
first.
cheetah is not conscious like a human is
Yeah,
conscious.
yeah. But
Humans have
other
different
people aren't as worried
capabilities.
about your problems either as you are.
No, none of them are.
Exactly.
None of them are as worried about your problems as you are. Yeah, that's a fact. The only people that care about your problems as much as you is someone that really cares about you.
And even then, not that much probably. When did you have your ego death?
I was probably like 22 or 23, maybe. Yeah. I just realized like,
This is the over the balcony night. Not over the balcony, but you were sitting on a balcony.
no, it's a different time.
So you think you had it boom all at once, or do you think it was like a leading up
No,
to
I've
that?
had a bunch of different small situations, and yeah, I never had like one situation that changed. Several small times things have changed my life. I would say small experiences letting me know that, that there is good on earth, that good does exist, that you can have peace on earth if everybody truly believed in it and wanted to practice at the same time. Yeah, I just kind of realized that like during one of those experiences that my problems weren't all that important. That you know, I could have died right then in that moment. And I thought, you know what? I'm very happy with the life that I've been given, and I'm thankful for the life that I've been given. And I recognize where I am and who my friends are, and they love me unconditionally.
You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I'm good. That's what it's all about. That's it. I think a lot of times we want to kind of search for more, but this is it. You gotta make peace and find your peace and find what you like about this earth and what you want to do and what makes you happy. And if you can do that within a small space, if you can sing, if you can write, you can drum, you can rap, you can do push-ups, read, write, draw. If you can do that stuff and it can make you happy, then you'll understand the basics of life that, sometimes it's the simple fun that will carry you through. And so that's it. Got to be able to have some cheap entertainment because
Yeah.
life is simple sometimes. You don't want to overcomplicate it too much.
I think, and you can agree that I think I've been going through my ego death since we've been together, and you said I haven't had one yet.
I thought maybe you having Tyson would kind of be essentially maybe your ego death. I think it was in a sense because I think you had that point of like, oh, well, it's like you have to take care of the baby or else he's not going to survive without you. So therefore, it's no longer about you anymore.
So you still don't think I've had one?
I don't know. I mean, I would say that you definitely experienced some of that in the hospital when you had Tyson. I think it's a lot of emotions and a lot of hormones all at once, and your body's going through. You're essentially sober tripping. We're essentially on drugs without being on drugs, is what it is. You know what I mean?
Such an adrenaline high
Yeah,
and
yeah,
hormonal
it
high.
is. It is.
I definitely
It's a trip. It's an
didn't. I mean, I
experience.
already have issues disassociating maybe from the past, but I just feel like a lot of women do that, but they just kind of block out those first few moments and hours where you're just kind of
You mean during the pregnancy, or I mean during the
during
birth?
after the birth, you're like not. I felt like I wasn't fully like, oh my baby. I was just kind of like, oh my god, I got the baby. Okay, I'm holding. Just that I was.
Well,
You block it out a lot. I
I
feel
don't
like,
know. I don't know. I think that maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's
yeah,
a skill set to have that.
and I definitely have that skill.
I believe like when I'm working out though and I'm going through hard stuff, sometimes it's a trick to trick my mind into, hey, I'm not really here squatting all this weight, or I'm
Yeah,
not really, yeah, this is hurting my muscles, but in my mind, I'm at home folding laundry or something. You know what I
that's
mean? Something different.
Yeah, I
So
actually never really thought about that until actually a couple weeks ago where I was taking a class and Liz was coaching and it was a hard one. She was like, turn your brain off. I'm like, oh, oh yeah, I'll just turn my brain off.
Yeah.
I'll just act like I'm not doing this.
Yeah, that's why I kind of say mind over matter sometimes, or like you're here, you're doing the reps, like you don't have to necessarily be thinking about it.
Yeah.
You can be like, what do I got going on today? Like, what do I got to do? Who do I got to
Mind
meet
can be
with?
just-
And it's like you can almost separate the body from the mind,
Yeah, for sure.
and your body is just moving.
Are you gonna be able to do that in a couple of weeks when you do your competition?
My mind actually might separate from my body. Actually, my head might actually fall off. I might throw up. I was thinking I haven't thrown up in a while from a workout. I might get it.
Yeah, tell us about this challenge you're doing. Shout out to the core.
The fittest man in Florida made me run one lap. Okay, 3.
Before you
He's been gone for an hour.
before you answer that, I remember, I think so. Rachel told me this story. I don't remember if she was living in London or what. She was somewhere different, and she went to go do a workout. It was like a hit style, which she never does,
Yeah.
and she's just like ran and threw up in the trash can, like during the class, and the girl was like, "Come on, you can come back out." So she like threw up and then ran back out, started running again. Oh my gosh!
That's a good
I've
for
never
her that she finished.
I've never thrown up during a workout.
Man, one time I worked out so hard, I took this stuff called like NO shotgun or something, some pre-workout, and it got me so stimulated. And after I was done working out, I was driving home. I was just driving home, and I started feeling sick, and I started rolling down the window, and I couldn't get the window down fast enough, and I threw up, and it went onto the window, back at me, all over me. So here I am driving down the road, like throw up all on the inside of my window, back on me. It was, oh man, that was so bad. Yeah, I've thrown up a couple times. I want to get that queasy stomach.
I've definitely gotten lightheaded for sure, but I've never actually thrown up.
Threw up in the car. That's not good.
It must have been like upset your stomach, that stuff. Not so much.
I was just stimulated and too much water, a lot of water. It was a lot of liquid. Yeah, my new favorite habit is watching these golfers out here on this fairway. And I love it. I don't know. I never knew that I would like that so much.
I know. It's interesting, huh?
Yeah, I don't really care to play too much. I mean, now I'll go hit some golf balls. It's fun actually hitting golf balls, but it's kind of fun watching people too.
I was recently asked, what's your vision right now?
2020.
Are you sure you have 2020?
Oh,
You might have something a little bit better, a little bit worse.
2015. Next question.
And what's your vision right now?
I don't know what it is. I haven't been to the eye doctor in a while.
What's your vision for your life right now? I think it's important to have a
Yeah, I kind of want to purchase this home, so then we have a little bit of freedom and leeway if we want to kind of leave for the summer or put it up for rent for the summer. And we definitely want to get to that place where we can travel a little bit more like we were. And this last season for us has just been a season of keeping Tyson healthy and alive and giving him a safe place to sleep and be raised. And yeah, so I think as we've become more settled here, I will be ready to go explore more. So that's kind of my vision. Get settled, find out a good routine, good patterns here, and then when we got our nest egg built up a little bit more, we'll go see the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
And that'll be, I think, within the next 3 to 4 years. I think we'll be in this house for a few years and keep kind of doing what we're doing. And then if we end up having another child, if that happens, then we'll have to expand.
Yeah. I mean, this place definitely isn't big enough for another baby.
Yeah, we'll just build a bedroom out here on the lanai. Be hot in the summertime.
If we replaced it with glass, it might be okay. You'd have to have good curtains.
Florida room.
We'll have to be air conditioned and, all the things. But yeah, more babies in the future.
See what happens.
If you could do all that again, well,
I could
you can watch me do that again.
I can definitely do it again. I could do it again.
I was telling a friend yesterday, I just think babies are as hard as you make them be.
Life is as hard as you make it.
We have made it this big thing.
Life is as hard as you make it, but there's going to be a lot of hard things in your life, but it's to be expected.
Yeah, definitely you have to expect hard things to come. That's why you got to be prepared mentally and emotionally.
All right. Well, I'm going to go get prepared mentally and physically and get off of this podcast.
Just ready for
What?
for it to do the third thought. He thinks
It's Snicker time. Time to grab a Snickers.
that's
And
not what he's thinking.
I had a Snickers the other day. It was so good. When you had a Snickers, when was the last time you had one?
Probably the last time you had one because you're the only one that buys them.
It took me about 5 minutes to get off this couch.
All right. Good chat.
Bye.